all off season. Not
You hear
only did
that,
he say
Coherd? You hear that,
before,
Florio?
he didn't. Not only did he say it was fun in the preseason,
Marcellus Wiley?
but now that it counts, they're having more fun. Okay,
Doesn't sound like there's any drama in the locker room there,
look,
guys. Leave it alone.
Look, you can make stuff up all you want, but when it comes out of the guy that's walking around in the building, at some point we have to, as people that listen to stuff, when we hear it from him, because there's no reason for him not to say it. Because if it wasn't true, he didn't, he doesn't. It's not like we said, oh, is it terrible in the locker room? He's like, oh, no, it's even more fun. It was just, what's it like there? He could have answered that however he wants, or said, well, I don't want to talk about it. That's usually an indication when something's going wrong. He immediately answered like, it was fun before. It's even more fun now that it counts. Everybody's together. That locker room was hopping after that game. Offense and defense together. Like, look, can't say I heard about that kind of stuff in Mike McCarthy since 2014. I'm not saying it wasn't there at one time, but it's been a long time.
It's been long gone.
Football players still have to have fun at the end of the day. They do. Because if you
watched, yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, when you watched, like the Bears celebrate last year against the Packers, and when the Packers lost at Soldier Field, that Bears locker room was fun. It was like almost, it was called Club Dub. It was literally a party, and the coach was in there and everything. And that's how it was last week in the locker room video of when LaFleur got flash mobbed by his own team. He literally was mosh pitted, and he was laughing his ass off. He was having a great time. It's a whole new vibe and culture for this team, and it's really fun to watch, Jay.
And how did you like him talking about Mike Pettin when I asked about it? Like, he laughed.
Yeah, he was laughing.
Like, immediately his reaction was laughing and just like, dude's just awesome. Like, again, I think we can put a kibosh, and I know we do this all the time, but there's a reason for it. Let's put the kibosh to the locker room, the culture crap that's being spread out there, that continues to be put out there by people that have much more power and say in the media world than we do. But look, it only takes one. It's like we are the proverbial pebble in the pond, folks. And although our circle might start out small, if you help us out, it can turn into a large circle that covers the whole pond, people. Put an end to this crap. It ain't true. It's being made up. It's nowhere close to accurate. So help us out in Packer Nation. And this stuff probably goes on across the league. This is why we want to talk to other players. We want to hear from players the realities. I'm tired of guessing, and I'm tired of trying to rely on people and their supposed anonymous tips and sources. We want to hear from people.
Or when you got former players like Jennings and Finley saying something, there's just no reason for it. They're not in the locker room. They're not in that environment. They're not around this new team. Those players need to be quiet and focus on something else. Maybe bettering the part of their career that they are in. Whatever it is, focus on that. Don't start analyzing something just because you don't like someone because he played a prank on you before a football game, if you know who I'm talking about, Mr. Jennings.
Well, yes. So.
Sorry, got a little heated there because it really ticks me off still. He does this over a joke.
I know. But before we get off here, since we got about 10 minutes before we'll hit an hour here, we were talking about the Dak Prescott thing, and then we had some technical crap and all this. So I want to get back into that because they still have to pay Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott, and it sounds like they're going to choose to pay Prescott first, and it sounds like they're going to pay him $35 million plus. It's ridiculous, and at the same time, it makes me happy from a fan standpoint because to me it signifies the beginning and the end of the Cowboys' chance of ever being a legitimate Super Bowl contender outside of this year, because they're going to win good this year. They're going to end up lower in the draft. They're not going to have a chance at a bigger they won't have as big of a pool of premier talent to choose from, and therefore if you don't choose right, there's less chances to make up for it. And there's going to be players that right now that are a key cogs to this thing working the way it works, they're not going to be able to afford to keep. $10 million or $10 to $11 million increase every year does not mean you can play every player you want a premium salary. It equals being able. It really equals one of two things: the difference between being able to keep that one premier player and pay him what he wants in a contract each year, or adding two mid-tier players or a bunch of like special team players to solidify the back end of your roster. This idea that this increase every year just means you can go out and just break the bank on every position is just an asinine fallacy that people like to play so that they can justify paying all these quarterbacks that have no business making the kind of money they're making, when we had to hear about Aaron Rodgers and his salary being ragged on, when now a guy like Dak Prescott's going to make $2 to $3 million plus more than Aaron Rodgers. Get the hell out of here. Stop it with this crap. It's ridiculous. Like the way we had to hear about our quarterback in Green Bay's contract and what's going on now with the golf contract and now this it's absolutely ridiculous and shows how asinine and dumb these guys were for having their takes they had in the first damn place. Sorry, I went off on a tangent, Dave. Go ahead and talk.
Nope, I fully agree. I think Jerry's going to try and pay everyone, and there's going to be not enough pie to go around the table. I mean, if they really go ahead and pay Dak, $30+ million, it's just asinine to me. I really don't think that he deserves it because of the fact that whenever Zeke was out, his numbers dropped. Luckily, Zeke came back for week 1 against the Giants. I don't think the score would have been as big of spread without Zeke in there. I just really don't.
Well, I guess what makes me really annoyed with it is that all the supporters of Dak now this morning are all sitting around pounding on the table, pointing to yesterday's game going, see, we told you he's worth it. He's worth every penny he wants and more. And it's like I'm laughing at him going, no, yesterday's game exactly solidified my opinion and stance on him even further. Look at all the different guys he had. Look at how much time he had to throw the ball. Look at the run holes and run fits and how many yards per carry they were able to get. I mean, everything they did worked perfectly because the other 10 guys on the offense around him consistently did their job way above average. And to the point where I saw Dak have fluttery throws. I saw him underthrow a guy that he could have hit in stride. Saw him throw behind guys. I saw him throw balls that got tipped and still got caught by a receiver making a good play. All these things, and then people point to his stats. It's like, I don't need your stats. I don't need you to tell me. I watched the game. He's not terrible, but he's not worth the amount of money that he's asking and going to get paid, and it's going to end up costing him his job sooner than later. If he was smart and wanted a long career and give him time to actually be able to develop, because once they pay him this contract, there's going to be a short leash. They're going to analyze the film the way that the people that are, I want to say anti, but realistic viewers of what Dak Prescott is as a quarterback, that team is analyzing him the way the supporters are right now. Once they pay him, you think those coaches aren't going to be a hell of a lot like, oh, let's make $35 million and that freaking receiver had, what's this throw? Why is this throw off? His footwork's off. They're going to be so critical to him, and guess what? I don't think he's going to be able to handle it. And so I just don't understand
There's one name
why Jerry is so adamant about doing this. There's plenty of quarterbacks he's got the team. Let Dak go. Let somebody else pay him. Let them figure out that he is what we all think he is. And, again, not terrible. He's a starter. I'm not saying he's a backup. I'm saying he's a starter that needs a lot of help. And that's okay, because in this day and age, Dallas Cowboys give him a lot of help and it makes him look good. But you can't, I'm sorry, just pay him.
There's one name why he's going to get paid, though, Jay. There's one name. And it didn't help the Rams did this. Jared Goff is making $32.5 million per year, and we know that's overpaid. Yes, so the fact that gives Dak leverage. That's the thing. When QBs about as good as Dak or a little less start getting money better than what he's wanting, then it's going to give him all the leverage. Sadly.
Yeah, I know. I guess I'm kind of tangenting here because I guess there's a fan part of me, but there's also a part of me, like the football sense of me is going, I know that they really know this in the building, but I really believe this is Jerry like just reaching at grapes, thinking I think the idea in his head is he thinks that with this team, Dak's good enough to win him a championship, and he's afraid that if he lets Dak go, doesn't pay him and lets Dak go, that maybe the next guy isn't as good that they pick. And to me, it's like, I honestly believe he's going to fear himself into making one of the dumbest football decisions they've made since they started drafting the offensive linemen and stuff 5-6 years ago. Like, paying Dak is almost 3 steps back to what they've been doing with this team and how they've been building it, in my opinion.
No, it is, and it's going to come back and fire in their face either this year or the next year. That's going to happen.
Okay. Do you have anything else, or should we get the hell out of here and leave people alone for the night?
We should probably leave people alone, let people watch the Broncos and Raiders, see if Joe Flacco is the real deal.
All right, folks. We appreciate you guys listening. And as always, if you haven't got enough of us and, the Kingsley Keke interview got you fired up, you want to go to NFL Addictions on Facebook.com for all of your NFL chatter and debate. It's not a trash talk site, folks, so keep it cordial, keep it friendly. And if you got an itch to scratch and you like to, try to win some stuff, you like playing raffles, go to Raz Addictions on Facebook.com and play their version of the raffle to try to win all kinds of cool stuff from TK signed helmets, autographed memorabilia that's authenticated, grilling sets, tailgate sets. Tell them what you've kind of won, Dave.
About 6 total helmets, signed football, signed Lombardi's era memorabilia. It's pretty cool, guys, and a barbecue tailgate set.
That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com for their version of the raffle. We want to give a quick shout-out to a couple of people. At Packers365, Ryan Molstead. What's up, buddy? Hope you're listening. Everybody follow him at
Check him out.
Packers365.
Knows what he's talking about.
He's crazy funny, and he's super smart. Knows what he's talking about. And you can hear him on the post-game wrap-up shows every game day after the Packers. Who else we got to shout out there, buddy?
Well, let's see. How about Parker Mose? Man, he's a great writer for Die Hard Packer fan. He knows what the heck he's talking about. He's right there with us on a lot of our takes. That he's a younger writer, but he knows his stuff, guys. I cannot wait for all these people that we're shouting out that work with us, that collaborate with us, to get this attention because they deserve it. And it's not that we don't deserve it. We're grinding, we're working away as well, but these guys like Ryan and Parker, they deserve it.
Yes, they do. And guess what, guys? We're not going to drop it yet, but we have some big news coming up within the next 2 weeks. And this week we'll have an announcement on a little new tidbit for you guys.
A little bit. Tiny bit.
A few little new tidbits we're throwing out there and some new opportunities to hear our voices some more, since you guys love it so much. We want to thank everybody for listening. We want to thank Kingsley Keke. We want to thank everybody out there that supports us and all our international listeners because we broadcast live to 8 different countries around the world. So thank you to all those international listeners out there. Have a good night. We will be back tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern with Pack-A-Day podcast owner and Cheesehead TV contributor, Mr. Andy Herman. Be back here tomorrow night on Spreaker.com, First and Goal, 10 p.m. Eastern for Andy Herman. Have a good night, folks. Go Pack Go.
Have a good night. Go Pack Go.
Yeah, go Pack Go.